Stay tuned on Monday. Some exciting news coming to On the Block. Again, you just heard Crete wrap up a win over Platteview. So what we'll do is we will take you through here on 93.7 The Ticket till we send you back out to Pinnacle Bank Arena. The 4-5 matchup in Class B. Fourth-seeded Omaha Skyhawks against Elkhorn. Crete 26-0 now. Scott 17-6. Elkhorn at 17-4. A lot to get to here in these next 20 minutes or so. We'll try to do it in a way that is understandable, that's fun and digestible. So this article, love these sort of prediction articles about the NFL quarterback market. There's been plenty of conversation about what the Bears do at number 1, what the Commanders do at number 2, what the Patriots do at number 3. All of them are, quarterbacks that are certainly in the market for a quarterback, whether that's in the NFL draft, whether that's in free agency. But this article, hopes to lay some of that out here. Bears, this article has selecting Caleb Williams. Okay, fine, sure, par for the course. I think that's the decision most people would make in that stay in case. Text line, let me know, 402-464-5685. Comment section, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever it is you're watching. If you as a Chicago GM, are you keeping Justin Fields or are you drafting Caleb Williams? Can you do both? Can you keep both guys on your roster? Let me know what your decision is and maybe a quick reason why. Okay, these go alphabetical here. So the next one is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. An interesting decision on the hands of that front office. Baker Mayfield had one of the better years of his career this year, led them to a playoff berth, led them to a win over the Eagles. What do you do with Baker? Former, top draft pick, former Heisman winner, has kind of bounced around the league, but Baker it feels like he resuscitated his career to a degree with what he was able to do with Tampa Bay last year. Is Baker good enough to be tendered a long-term contract? How handsomely does Baker Mayfield want to be paid? Those are all questions that I'm sure they're working through, because I think Tampa Bay, if they can bring Baker Mayfield back on a similar deal to what they had this year, a 1-year kind of pillow contract, prove it, show us what you got, they'd absolutely love that. But from Baker Mayfield's standpoint, why would you take a 1-year deal? You just proved you can be a starting quarterback in the NFL. You were looking for long-term money, and of course, some of it guaranteed. Not all of it. You don't get a lot of fully guaranteed contracts in the NFL, especially the quarterback position outside of, Deshaun Watson, everything going down in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield, for my money, if I'm making the decisions for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm looking at him as still a bridge guy. I don't want to commit my franchise to him. He's good enough for us to win the division with. Is Baker Mayfield a Super Bowl quarterback? I really don't think so. I don't believe in Baker Mayfield to that degree. Now, here's the thing. I'm just one of those haters that Baker's going to say, put a chip on his shoulder, and they're going to motivate him to play another best year of his career. But on the low, Baker's not young. He's not old, but Baker's not young. He had the shoulder injury, throwing shoulder injury. Never a good sign for a quarterback. Railroader Matt says, would love to see Baker as a bridge for the Vikings when they lose Cousins to Atlanta and then draft a quarterback. Interesting. Kirk Cousins is the next name on this list. This article does have them going with Kirk Cousins. Okay, here's the rationale. Atlanta wants Cousins. From a Combine report, they believe Cousins is the type of player who moves them from a fringe playoff team to a contender. Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson both have familiarity with him. Okay, so Kirk Cousins does seem to be the first selection for the Falcons. They want Kirk Cousins. It would be really interesting to see how Kirk handles Atlanta, but I do think in a football sense, he would make some sense, right? For a second-time head coach in Raheem Morris, a new offensive coordinator, with the weapons that Atlanta has, I kind of like that for both sides. Now, Railroader Matt, to the second part of your text, the Vikings, what do they do as a bridge guy? If they draft a quarterback this year, who do you want him to draft, by the way, Railroad Matt? Let me know. Here's what this article says the Vikings are going to do. Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson. How about that? Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson battling it out to be the Vikings starting quarterback. Woof. What a fall that would be from Kirk Cousins. I might even take like Tavares Jackson over those guys. Late career Brett Favre. I don't know. But two of the biggest top 5 busts in terms of quarterbacks competing in the same room. Both of them certainly need a spark. They certainly need a way to bring their careers back to life and prove that they can be, a starting quarterback in the league. But what has either one of those two gentlemen shown consistently in quarterbacking an NFL team? Not a lot positive. Really not a lot positive from either Darnold or Wilson. So really the point is that they're gettable. They're cheap. You can afford to take a swing on those guys, especially if you go into the NFL draft and Railroader Matt says JJ McCarthy or Michael Penix. Sure, you take either one of those two guys, let him sit behind those guys. Absolutely. I would almost wonder, though, if Minnesota wouldn't be better served by, instead of taking another, supposedly high upside, high risk swing with a Wilson or a Darnold, what if instead you went and got like a more veteran guy in the Blaine Gabbert mold? I know Chase Daniel has retired. What if you go get a guy like that? What if you go get Gardner Minshew, who's a free agent? I know Indianapolis would like to have him back. I don't know if Gardner Minshew necessarily wants to be back. I think he still thinks of himself as a starter. But what would you think about Gardner Minshew as a bridge guy instead of, say, Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson? Here's an interesting one for the Broncos. Okay, we know what's going on with Russell Wilson, set to be released. This article has the Denver Broncos starting quarterback next year as Sam Howell. That's right, Sam Howell, currently of the Washington Commanders, would be, I assume, released if they drafted a quarterback. Yep, in the next spot down, Commanders taking Drake May. How about this, though? The Raiders jumping up from the number 13 pick to draft Jaden Daniels from LSU, last year's Heisman winner. Put up the video game numbers. We know what it was that Jaden Daniels did. The connection there, the head coach, Antonio Pierce, helped recruit Jaden Daniels to Arizona State before Daniels transferred to LSU, before Antonio Pierce made the jump to the league. Here's the Patriots' prediction. Jacoby Brissett and Bo Nix. Jacoby Brissett has been in New England before. There's some familiarity with that organization, obviously not with Bill Belichick and his retirement. Gerard Mayo, now the head coach up there. But drafting Bo Nix probably at 13th overall. The Patriots would drop from the 3rd pick to the 13th pick, again with the aforementioned trade with the Raiders. Jacoby Brissett, I think, would be another interesting name for the Vikings to look at, right? Consummate professional, perfect bridge option that, can give you solid quarterback play. Maybe he can lead you on a surprise playoff run, but I tend to think, again, having watched the Jacoby Brissett experience firsthand for a season, I don't think Jacoby Brissett is a quarterback you want starting if you have playoff hopes. Can he start a game in a pinch? Could he start a playoff game in a pinch and you feel okay about your chances? Absolutely. I'm just not sold as Jacoby Brissett as a 17-game starter. Here's this for the Steelers, and this is a great jumping off point for some more news from today. Steelers' prediction is Kenny Pickett, incumbent starter, bounced in and out of the starting lineup with, Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky, the other guys in the mix in Pittsburgh, and Ryan Tannehill, released by the Tennessee Titans, who appear to be handing their franchise over to Will Levis, at least for the time being. Pickett is obviously their own draft pick. Tannehill's a guy they would bring in from the outside. But the news that we saw today is that there is mutual interest in at least having conversations between Russell Wilson and the Steelers. Dangerous. That's right. In Pittsburgh, it could happen. Fascinated to see how that would go. Pittsburgh is not an ego town. It's just not. It's blue collar. The reputation about leaning on the defense. Earlier in the week, definitely go back and check out the podcast on Old School. Jay Foreman was telling you what exactly it was that went down between Russ and Denver. And the way that Jay was talking about Russ makes me think that going and being coached by Mike Tomlin, providing even just last year's level of play to that offense, goes a tremendous way in helping Pittsburgh. Yeah, they made the playoffs, but I don't think anyone necessarily took them all that seriously in the playoffs. Bringing a little more balance, having Tomlin around to help keep the ego in check, not letting Russell Wilson get bigger than the team. I think that could really, honestly, truly benefit all parties involved in that. But again, this prediction has them going with Kenny Pickett and Ryan Tannehill. Here's this Railroader, Matt, if you're still listening. Michael Penix Jr. projected to go to the Seahawks, according to this. Of course, they did bring Geno Smith back but Michael Penix Jr., again, being up in the Pacific Northwest where he played from in the last half of his college career. Interesting choice there. Daniel Jones, the starter for the Giants, with J.J. McCarthy backing him up. The Giants are at number 6, and according to this article, indications are the general manager, Joe Schoen, is willing and ready to trade up and get one of the top prospects if possible. So again, that's another team potentially to watch out for as a trade partner with the Patriots. Really, really interesting stuff there. Couple thoughts on the Justin Fields, Caleb Williams discussion. 7543 says, take Caleb 1, and you might get an offer for him. Man named Ashley, Caleb Williams seems like too much of a diva to give the first pick. There haven't been a lot of instances of guys who are clearly divas working out at quarterback. I think that's the outside perception, but I think Caleb Williams is a harder worker than maybe the narrative is. I think the bad season that USC had wore on absolutely everybody, and I think it really, colored how we look at Caleb Williams, which, understandably so. He was the quarterback for a team that really, underperformed according to what their preseason expectations were. Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. Generational, I don't know. Deserving of the first overall pick, he at least deserves to be in that conversation. Fred Nutt Hoiberg, the Bears trade the first round pick, trade down for more picks, and then Justin Fields for even more draft picks. Okay, well, you're a Packers fan, so that's funny. Sten says, I don't want an LA quarterback. There's no guarantee that Williams' ceiling is at or on par with the proven floor of Justin Fields. Sten, you're a 49ers fan, saying that, hey, you took the upside swing for Trey Lance and it didn't work out, unfortunately for you. But yeah, do you think there's more that's unlockable in Justin Fields' game and skill set? Or do you need to start fresh? Did you make some wrong choices? Did you have the wrong impression from his previous film? All of that is totally valid and on the table. And Railroader Matt says, Vikings did just hire Josh McCown as their quarterback coach. So honestly, with Justin Jefferson and Addison, I'm really okay with anyone. Vikes went to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum, so anything is possible. That's just the thing. Two difference makers. Wide receiver is huge. Don't forget TJ Hawkinson is big. And I think I saw a post from Alexander Madison saying he's not coming back, or maybe it's just an end of the season thing. I don't know. So the Vikings could use a running back, especially with Dalvin Cook gone. But I think other than that, the skill positions are looking really good. We'll take a break. One more short segment here for me from the 93.7 The Ticket Studios. When we get back, we'll talk some Husker hoops. We'll talk some high school hoops. I'll get you set up for the second session of the day out at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Nebraska Corn Board is expanding access to higher blends of ethanol across the United States, including in California. The Nebraska Corn Board is partnered with Pearson Fuels, who is the largest and fastest growing distributor of E85 in the state of California. In 2023, California sold 120 million gallons of E85, an increase of 55% since 2021. The Nebraska Corn Board, enhancing demand, adding value, ensuring sustainability.
The good sports at Bison don't just manufacture sports equipment. Our employees watch, play, coach, and support student athletes at all levels. We're proud sponsors of the NSAA and big fans of the state basketball tournaments. Good luck to all the teams and welcome to Lincoln. If your team needs new basketball, volleyball, soccer, or other sports equipment, visit www.bisoninc.com or call 800-247-7668. Or pick up a basketball hoop for your driveway at Nebraska Sports or Shields.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Score big this month at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln and rule the terrain on a Segway Fugelman UT10X. Now is your chance to get into a side-by-side for only $12,000 out the door. That's right, just $12,000. And this bad boy stacks up to all the other name brands. Plus, you get Segway's signature smart commanding system featuring airlock, drive settings, safety alerts, and more. Hurry in now. Elway Power Sports only has 2 left at this blowout price. Swing by their new 27th and I-80 location or shop their inventory at elwaypslincoln.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here for just a couple minutes before we send you back out to Pinnacle Bank Arena. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman standing by. Scott and Elkhorn, the game on tap, 4-5 matchup in Class B. Update from Minneapolis, the Big Ten women's basketball tournament going on right now. At a media timeout about halfway through the third quarter, 5th-seeded Nebraska up 1 on number 12 Purdue. It's 32-31 Nebraska. Again, about 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Purdue led 12-7 after the first quarter. But Nebraska responded with an 18-13 second quarter, tied at 25 at the half. And Nebraska scored 7 points here in the first 5.5 minutes or so of the third quarter. Leaders for Nebraska, look at Jazz Shelley. She's got 9 points on 3 of 7 shooting. All 7 of her shots have been from three-point range. She's made 3 of them, also got 4 rebounds and 5 assists. So definite triple-double watch for Jazz Shelley. Alexis Markowski has 8 and 4. Natalie Potts, 6 points and 6 rebounds. Outplaying her counterpart, right? Natalie Potts got the coach's vote for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. The media went with Mary Ashley Stevenson of Purdue. Ashley Stevenson, rather, has 6 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 personal fouls, and a turnover. So, hey, Natalie Potts getting the best of that matchup yet again. Other than that, it's 2 points from Darian White, 3 points from Callan Hake, and 4 off the, or he's not in the game right now. Darian White off the bench. Logan Nisley has 4 points. So only 2 bench points for Nebraska in this one so far. Both teams shooting 33%, a combined 6 of 28 from 3-point range, only 5 total free throws, 22 total turnovers, 12 of them from Nebraska, 13 Purdue points off of those 12 Husker turnovers. That'll do it for me from back here in the studio. On the other side, it'll be Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman. Omaha Skutt versus Elkhorn. Don't go anywhere. The 93.7 The Ticket coverage of the Boys State basketball tournament continues next.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at